Leading the tributes on the late Pope is Argentina's President Javier Milei, who says he feels profound sorrow at the death of the leader of the Catholic Church. He said that despite minor differences that seem major today, having been able to know the Pope in his kindness and wisdom has been a true honor for him. President Milei, a staunch libertarian who had introduced sweeping austerity measures, had clashed with the Pope in the past. Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu described the Pope as a humble servant of God and a guiding light of millions whose life was defined by mercy, justice, and love for humanity. He said the Pope's death, coming on Easter Monday, is a sacred return to his Maker at a time of renewed hope for Christians. U.S. President Donald Trump posted on his Truth social media platform, "Rest in peace, Pope Francis. May God bless him and all who loved him." South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa says Pope Francis had humility and a profound commitment to making the Church and the world a better place. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese called him a modernist and says he was a devoted champion and loving father for Australian Catholics. Bangladesh's interim government said Pope Francis was a towering figure of moral clarity, humility and compassion. Russian President Vladimir Putin remembers the late Pope as a defender of the highest values of humanism and justice, and that he had had the privilege of communication with this outstanding man on many occasions. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said Pope Francis knew how to give hope, ease, and suffering through prayer and foster unity, adding that the late Pope prayed for peace in Ukraine and for Ukrainians. The UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer said he was deeply saddened to hear of the Pope's death, commenting, "His tireless efforts to promote a world that is fairer for all will leave a lasting legacy," and that the Pope's leadership in a complex and challenging time for the world and the Church was courageous, yet always came from a place of deep humility. King Charles released a message saying he and Queen Camilla were most deeply saddened to learn of the Pope's death, and that His Holiness will be remembered for his compassion, his concern for the unity of the Church, and for his tireless commitment to the common causes of all people of faith, and to those of goodwill who work for the benefit of others. The European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said the Pope inspired millions far beyond the Catholic Church with his humility and love so pure for the less fortunate. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi says he is deeply pained by the Pope's passing. The Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi says Pope Francis was a voice of peace, love and compassion. Finally, amidst the many tributes pouring in, is one from U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, one of the leaders lucky enough to have had a private meeting with the Pope before the Easter service on Sunday. He said, "My heart goes out to the millions of Christians all over the world who loved him."